All right, welcome back to Bob Wren Stadium as we get set for baseball for Game 2 of our series. We've got the Bowling Green Falcons and the Ohio Bobcats. Alongside Grant Kiefer, I'm Sam Hyman. Glad you're with us on Bobcat TV. The first pitch of the game is low for ball one. Trent Spoon is the starting pitcher for the Ohio Bobcats. Second pitch connects on the inside corner, 1 ball and 1 strike. Well, Grant, it was a good bounce-back victory for Ohio, an 11-3 win in Game 1 of the doubleheader. What impressed you the most about the way Ohio was able to bounce back after losing yesterday's opener?
Well, I like how they bounced back with, the elements are still the same as yesterday. It's cold. That's going to be the biggest story, and that was the story of last game. And they didn't really have to rely on the long ball. You know, guys' hands are starting to get stiff. These guys have been out there all day. And Ohio was able to get runs through just getting singles, doubles, getting walks, and they kind of just played small ball. In that first game, a combined 4 home runs. And the game today, no home runs. Ohio scored all 11 runs through just dribblers and 1 double.
This is Sam Seidel who bounces it to the shortstop. Tough play, Nick Dolan. And it's back picked by the first baseman, Alec Patino, 1 up, 1 down to start the top half of the first inning.
Hey, Patino, been the hero of this series offensively so far. And we'll talk about that more once we get to the bottom half of this inning.
Nathan Archer steps in, and he takes high, 1 ball and no strikes. So Trent Spoon, and we spoke to Craig Moore earlier this week. He did for sure pencil in Trent Spoon as one of the starters this weekend. He was a little unsure who was going to go in between Spoon and Friday's starter, Luke Olson. But Spoon is a junior, 6 feet tall, from Bourbonnais, Illinois, and he is making his 3rd start of the season, 12 1/3 innings, coming into today, a 5.84 ERA, as the 3-1 pitch is downstairs, ball 4. Nathan Archer, the center fielder, draws a 1-out walk.
Yeah, and what I like about Spoon a lot is his delivery. You know, it's not over the top. It's very quick. You know, he has a good job locating it. Yeah, that was just a walk right there. But he's got pretty good control over the ball right now, as we're seeing so far.
Yeah, it also feels like he's not wasting any time in between pitches, trying to get into a rhythm as he throws the off-speed hook that snaps on the outside corner, strike 1 to Kyle Garney, the catcher, who is hitless today. He did walk back in the second inning in the first game of our doubleheader this afternoon. 0-1 pitch misses downstairs, 1 ball and 1 strike. So to recap, Game 1 was yesterday. Bowling Green snuck by Ohio 5-4. 2 home runs off the bat of Adam Fallon and Alec Patino. Fallon's second home run was absolutely the decisive home run. Came in the 9th inning, and that's what jolted Bowling Green in front and ultimately gave them the 5-4 lead. 5-4 win. Much different story today, as we alluded to, 11-3 the final, and Ohio scored 8 runs in the second inning of that game.
Yeah, it was a good bounce-back way in the win, and the way Ohio just kind of took control in the second, they really left no room for doubt, and that's going to be another key to victory today. You know, neither of these pitchers are really expected to go that long, unlike what we saw on Friday's game, but you're just going to have to be able to make sure you're scoring early and often for either one of these teams if they want to take the rubber match here.
1-2 pitch is just outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. We've seen a couple of off-speed. That curveball has been used quite a bit in this at-bat to Garney. You don't normally see a catcher catch both games of a doubleheader. Sometimes you see the DH come into play. But he is once again behind the dish.
Yeah, and offensively, he has some reasoning for that. You know, 342 on base percentage, 695 OPS. He's got 4 walks on the season as well. These guys worthy of it.
Trent Spoon very concerned with Nathan Archer over at first base, and no surprise whatsoever because Nathan Archer stole 20 bases last season. There he takes off with a payoff pitch, and that is called strike 3. No throw down to second either because Archer he got such a great jump on that pitch. Not worth risking the throw down there. So 2 away after the strikeout to Kyle Garney, and the batter is Nathan Rose, the third baseman. We'll get you the Ohio defensive alignment in just a moment. Not much has changed. Left to right in the outfield for Ohio. Gideon Antle is in left. A.J. Roush is in center. Will Sturrock plays right field. Left side of the infield features Colin Kasperbauer at third. Shortstop is Nick Dolan. The second baseman is Billy Adams. And at first, Alec Patino. Everything staying the same in that regard, as that misses outside. 2 balls, and no strikes. The catcher is Mason Minzy. The only change outside of the pitcher, Trent Spoon, is Trevor Lucas, who is the DH for Ohio. 2-0 pitch is right down the middle, a called strike, 2-1.
And Spoon doing a really good job controlling the middle and the bottom of the batter's box so far, trying to get the corners working up top a little bit, but as you saw a couple pitches ago, they called that one a ball, but he's settling into this game nicely and should get out of this inning.
He's really used that curveball a ton. It's gotten Bowling Green hitters off balance a bit so far. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Nathan Rose, who comes into this day, with a team high 9 hits in 11 starts, as this one is looped in the air to shallow center field. That is down for a base hit. Archer took off on the pitch, and he will score standing. Falcons strike first with a 2-out RBI single from Nathan Rose. That is his 4th RBI of the season.
Yeah, Rose had the reach for that one, but as you said, Archer got that jump, and boy, is he quick. He got all around the bases, and, we talked about getting runs early and often. You've kind of seen that in both games. Both these teams have scored within the first couple innings in both the games this series, and, Bowling Green striking first in the top half of the innings, just what the doctor ordered.
That pitch just misses outside for ball 1 to Adam Fallon, the left fielder, after 2 homers last night. Fallon 1 for 4 in the first game of our doubleheader today, as the 1-0 pitch will connect on the outside corner for strike 1.
That one looked to be a little outside, but looked like we're going to give him the call anyways.
Trent Spoon, the southpaw junior college transfer, delivers. Curveball misses upstairs. 2 balls and 1 strike. It's his first season at Ohio. Trent Spoon, the rotation not completely finalized just yet. Some things to tweak as Spoon hits Adam Fallon, and there are runners at first and second with 2 outs. The Friday night starter to begin the season, Brendan Roeder, is not available this weekend. He's been dealing with a minor injury. Hopefully he gets back sooner rather than later. So when we spoke to Craig Moore earlier this week, he gave us 2 starters, told us Luke Olson will be the Friday night starter, and then the series finale will be Trent Spoon, but that middle starter was up in the air. It ended up being Mitchell Hemmen. Two down, runners at first and second for Bowling Green, leading 1-0. And that bounces in the turf for ball 1. The batter is Tyler Ross, first baseman for Bowling Green, his 13th start of the season, hitting 200.
Yeah, struggling to get the ball up in the air a little bit as well, slugging 194, and that cold weather won't exactly help either.
A ground ball right to Nick Dolan at short, and that will end the top of the first. Bowling Green gets a run, though, on an RBI single from Nathan Rose. Ohio bats for the first time in Game 2 of our doubleheader. It's A.J. Roush, Colin Kasperbauer, and Mason Minzy. 1, 2, 3 in the order. That is straight ahead on Bobcat TV. A.J. Roush leads us off here in the home half of the first inning as we welcome you back to Bob Wren Stadium, Ohio, and Bowling Green, the series finale, which was supposed to be tomorrow, but because of some impending weather in the forecast, we are playing two today as Peyton Wilson throws a first pitch ball 1-0 to A.J. Roush, the center fielder for the Bobcats. 1-0 pitch is downstairs by an eyelash, 2-0. Peyton Wilson is coming into this game 3 starts. It's been a rough go so far, an ERA north of 13. He's a junior from New London, Ohio, 6'1", 222 pounds. This is pulled on the ground towards short. Johnston gobbles it up, chucks it across the diamond, and it is in time. Gets the speedy A.J. Roush. Great job by Tyler Ross, too, to pick that up off the turf. 1 away.
Yeah, what a defensive play right there. Tyler Ross has made some plays this series that have probably saved a couple runs for Bowling Green all in all. And, a guy who's been struggling on the mound so far this season, you're going to have to – you want to be behind your guy defensively. In the case that the ball is put in play, and that just potentially saved a base hit right there. Excellent scoop.
Next batter is Colin Kasperbauer. Third baseman takes low, 1 ball and no strikes. We've talked a lot about Colin throughout the course of this series. He's coming off one of the best, as this is line foul right side. One of the best seasons of his college career, probably the best when it comes to his Ohio seasons. He was a transfer from Iowa Western. Led the league last year with a .380 batting average. That misses outside, 2 balls and 1 strike. Comes into today hitting just .241, but again, some growing pains, getting adjusted early in the non-conference.
And his average only being .241. He's seen the ball well so far this year. He's got 7 walks, on-base percentage coming into the series at .321. His discipline, I feel like, is one of the better ones on this Ohio team. And he's been seeing the ball well, and, any way you can get on base this day in baseball is valuable to a team, for sure.
This is grounded foul. Still 2 balls and 2 strikes. His 7 walks, to your point, Grant, are 3rd on the team behind A.J. Roush and Mason Minzy.
Yeah, really seeing it well right now. And he's working these at-bats too, 2-2, and fouling them off just over and over.
This is lifted high in the air down the left field line. Fallon, long run towards the corner. And he makes the play. 2 quick outs to begin the bottom of the first inning for this right-hander, Peyton Wilson.
In a series where Ohio scored a combined 15 runs. If you're Peyton Wilson, where your ERA is north of 13, being able to get out of this first inning is definitely going to be something that is a quick little victory. But then you just got to move on to the rest of this game. But to be able to get out of this inning and stay up 1-0 heading out of the first has to be an accomplishment.
First pitch to Mason Minzy is low for ball 1. Minzy was hitless yesterday, and in game 1 of our doubleheader today, Minzy reached base twice with a walk and a single. He's a 5th-year senior. Another transfer, started his career at Texas Tech, then went to Wabash Valley Community College. A really talented JUCO, and he scorches that pitch right up the middle. Minzy with a 2-out single here in the bottom of the first inning. That's a great piece of hitting by the catcher.
That was an absolute laser. If we had StatCast in this ballpark, that speed would have been something. I mean, that was right up the middle. Pitcher had to get out of the way, but there's not much you could do about that. No matter what kind of alignment you're playing, how far up you're going to have your center fielder. That's just a great at-bat, and that's a great hit, and gets first hit on the board for Ohio.
Alec Patino steps in, the first baseman, and he watches that one hit the bottom of the zone for a called strike. 0-1. Alec Patino through 13 games this season, .362 batting average to lead the team. He's tied for first on the squad in hits with 17. That's in the turf, low. There goes Mincy, and he's in there safely.
Mincy turned on the afterburners towards the second part of that. Kind of got a little bit of a late jump, but he really got it going. And already 2 stolen bases so far in this game on combined.
1 ball and 1 strike, the count to Alec Patino. Bobcats down 1-0 in the bottom of the first. And that locks on the bottom of the zone, strike 2. Good pitch from Peyton Wilson.
I've really been impressed with what Wilson's shown so far. Good discipline, not really letting himself get worked up when he works up those counts, and could get out of this.
One ball and 2 strikes, the count to Alec Patino, the Iowa Western transfer, who's had a fabulous series. His first series as a Bobcat at Bob Wren Stadium. Yesterday, hit two home runs. He's got 5 RBIs in this series.
That OPS north of 1,000. He's really been hitting the ball well this year.
Here comes the 1-2. Is grounded off the pitcher. Wilson's mitt redirects to Johnston, who throws to first, and it is in time. Great awareness and patience from the shortstop, Johnston. He didn't get thrown off by that situation, and it ends the bottom of the first inning. We go to the top of the second after this 1-0 lead for Bowling Green in our series finale. And you're watching all the action on Bobcat TV. Top of the second inning we go at Bob Wren Stadium alongside Grant Kiefer. My name is Sam Hyman. Glad you're with us on Bobcat TV for our series finale of the rubber match. Ohio took game 2 this afternoon. Bowling Green grabbed game 1 yesterday. And now it's for this series right now as the 1-0 pitch from Trent Spoon splashes right down the middle for a called strike, 1-1. The batter is Jack Krause. And he taps the third pitch foul. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
And you said it, this being the rubber match, and I don't think it could be understated just how much both these teams really need this. Both these teams took on really tough non-conference slates to start the season between all the invitationals and traveling. Bowling Green stole a game at Louisville a couple weekends ago. But ultimately, you want to start above 500 in MAC play no matter what. And we talked about it on previous broadcasts, the move of the 3-game series this year rather than 4. And, being able to get out of the series above 500, it's going to be really big right there as Spoon puts one away to start the inning.
Anthony Toma at the plate for Bowling Green, the designated hitter. Yeah, Craig Moore mentioned at the beginning of the season when we asked him, do you like the fact that it's switched from a 4-game set with doubleheaders to 3-game series this year? And he said, absolutely, I love it, as Nick Dolan throws out Toma at first. 2 quick outs here in the top of the second inning.
Yeah, a lot of long at-bats that turn into just quick heads-up plays so far in this one. And, defense has really been putting on a show so far. Both these shortstops have made good plays already at the start of this one. And Bowling Green still up 1-0.
Trent Spoon is locked in right now. Another first pitch strike. Count is 0-1. Southpaw quickly delivers a curveball that lands high. 1 ball and 1 strike.
I've noticed a lot when he gets ahead in the count. He's tried to get guys to chase and almost did right there.
There's a quick pitch over and into right field. Easy work for Trent Spoon. A 3 up, 3 down, top of the second inning for the Southpaw. We go to the bottom of the second. After this, Ohio will send Will Sturrock, Gideon Antle, and Trevor Lucas to the plate when we come back on Bobcat TV. Well, Sturrock leads off the home half of the second inning. Back with Grant Kiefer, I'm Sam Hyman. Glad to have you along with us for our series finale on a chilly weekend here in Athens, Ohio. First pitch from Peyton Wilson springs outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Temperature is in the low 40s, 41 degrees to be exact, under cloudy skies.
And almost all these guys played that last game, and of course it's been cold all day. That hasn't changed. So we'll have to just see as the game progresses, how fielding works, how guys are gripping the bat. Are they choking up? Are they choking down as it gets colder and, some of those limbs can start to go numb.
Quickly one away in the bottom of the second inning. Next batter is Gideon Antle, the left fielder. Yesterday, we saw Bowling Green starter Gage Shank. He did not wear any sleeves, not even 3/4 of sleeves. He was sleeveless. And
at least Peyton Wilson's got the 3/4
yeah.
going. I get it as a pitcher, but a lot of these guys, hoodies on underneath, guys just doing what they can to brave the weather. It feels more like January out here than March, what I said to myself walking here today.
Well, in our first game of the day, I was chatting with Zach, who was on the broadcast, and I asked him, was it colder in March than it was February last year too? As this is lined into shallow right field. Kraus cannot make the play, and Gideon Antle is aboard with a 1-out hit, 1-out single. That would have been a tough play for Kraus. So no error on the right fielder.
Yeah, no error. That was quite the layout right there. Almost had it. I thought he did have it for a second, but great effort. We've seen a lot of great defensive efforts so far in this game, as we mentioned.
So here's Trevor Lucas, the only change in the lineup for Craig Moore in this series finale. Trevor Lucas is a 6th-year senior from Tustin, California, redshirted at Ohio in 2018. 1-0, bites him up and in, 2 balls and no strikes.
Trevor Lucas really been hitting the ball well this year. His play time's kind of dwindled as his career has gone on, only playing in 10 games last year, but 6 for 14 so far this year, 429 as he dribbles one up right there, unable to beat it out. But he's really been seeing it well this year, and, he's just fighting for more playing time.
That was a jam shot from Trevor Lucas. So no chance to turn 2. Gideon Antle moves to second with 2 outs, and the batter is Billy Adams. How about Billy Adams in Game 1, Grant? He was unstoppable. He had 4 hits, three singles, 2 RBIs.
Yeah, 4 for 4. It doesn't get better than that, and, he needed it a little bit. His numbers weren't the greatest, but it's still early. This is MAC play now, and, it's a good way to start off on the right foot in this campaign.
Billy Adams is the only freshman in the starting lineup for Ohio. 0-1 the count. Wilson fires, and this is knocked towards the shortstop. Johnston on one hop. He'll flip to first in time, and that'll retire the side. So no runs on one hit, no errors, and one man left. We have played 2 innings here in Game 2 of our doubleheader today in the series finale. Marching on to the top of the 3rd, straight ahead. You're watching Maction on Bobcat TV. Back in Athens, series finale. Thanks for being with us on Bobcat TV. Top of the order for the Bowling Green Falcons, it's Sam Seidel, who is 0 for 1 in this game. Seidel has been excellent in this series and over the last handful of games. He's got 5 hits in his last 4 contests. Just a freshman. He's also the only freshman in the starting lineup on the opposing side. We mentioned Billy Adams. Seidel's been, and he's at the top of the order too, so that's got to show you that Kyle Halleck has a lot of
100%.
confidence in him.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And he's really been hitting the ball and seeing the ball well so far this year. At OPS, north of 1,000, slugging percentage 455. You know, he's good on the base pass too, has a handful of stolen bases, and we'll take another base right there.
Trent Spoon issues his 2nd walk of the game, and that'll bring up Nathan Archer, who is one of the top prospects on this Bowling Green team. We spoke to Kyle Halleck, 3rd-year head coach of the Falcons, and calls Nathan Archer a difference maker. Squares to bunt and pushes it foul. Archer last season, freshman season, was 4th in the MAC in steals with 20. And he is listed as the MAC's top outfielder in the D1 baseball preseason list. Spoon throws over to first.
Spoon needing to settle in a little bit more here. You know, off to a good start. Only allowed 1 run so far, but he was working down in counts. Now getting a little too worried about the base pass. Of course, Nathan Archer's not a guy you want to see on the base passes. We saw in that first inning with the stolen base. And, you know, all these pickoff attempts. You know, Spoon just has to play his game. You know, he's not a guy that really goes that deep in the games. But while he's out there, he's just got to pitch his ball, like we saw in that first inning with those low curveballs. It seems like he's almost trying to do too much when it comes to a guy who can be a threat at the plate.
Seidel at first. He's 3 for 3 this season in stolen base attempts, and that is why Spoon is incredibly focused on Seidel over there at first base. As a lefty too, you know, you've got that runner at first base in your sight, in your peripheral vision as you look to home plate. Curveball is upstairs. A delayed steal. It's called a strike. And Seidel, he's clapping his hands. That was a very impressive steal because he wasn't stealing off the jump, couple of secondary leads, and then boom, he was off to the races and no throw down.
Yeah, no throw, and then having these guys back to back in the order. Talk about all that speed you can get. But won't get on base there for Archer, but I mean that's a threat for sure, especially if you're Spoon to have to keep an eye on both of those guys at the same time if they were to get on base. So that's stolen base right there. could have opened that up for Archer, but he strikes out right there and 1 down.
Third strikeout for Trent Spoon. And the next batter is Kyle Gurney. And there goes Seidel. He's trying to steal third. Throw down to third is late. And Sam Seidel doing it all by himself on the base paths. Has 2 steals in this frame and has given Kyle Gurney an opportunity to drive in a run even while recording it out. Sac fly is in the equation. Middle infielders are back. Here's Spoon. Breaking ball, and that is a jam shot spinning towards first. Just what the doctor ordered for Ohio. Alec Patino makes the play, and there are 2 away.
Yeah, I mean, can't be stated enough how big that was right there. You know, you have the heart of the order coming up for Bowling Green, and you got a guy on third who has all the speed in the world. Even a shallow shot in the outfield could have scored him. So huge to get that out right there, and Spoon's got to be feeling good heading into this at-bat.
Nathan Rose, third baseman, drove in the game's first and only run to this point. And he charges this one up in the air. Shallow left field. Gideon Antle on his horse with his hat falling off. Makes the play. And that retires the side. So Sam Seidel steals 2 bases in the inning. It doesn't matter. Ohio's still down by just a run as we move to the bottom of the third after this series finale. Somebody's going to walk away winning this series to open up MAC play. Come back and join us on Bobcat TV. Nick Dolan leads off for Ohio as we resume action. Bottom of the third from Bob Wren Stadium. Dolan drops down a beautiful drag bunt up the third base line. Rose fields, throws to first, got him just in the nick of time. What a play. Dolan can't believe it. He absolutely thought he was safe. And the fans don't like the call either. I mean, it was very close. If we had a second look, it would be very interesting to see. But in real time, it's really tough to make that call. And Craig Moore he's going to try and plead his case. Definitely upset with the call.
Yeah, he should get his money's worth. I mean, that was bang bang right there, and it looked like it was safe. And I don't think he could have laid that bunt down any better. He obviously came into that at bat with a plan to first pitch bunt. It could not have been placed any better. I thought he had it for sure. But, you know, Craig Moore getting his money's worth right here. We'll stay in the game, it seems, but, you know, nothing they can really do about it.
I mean, and in a game that's, this is a big game. It is the weekend opener for the conference. 1-run game. Very pivotal moment. We'll see if that is something we reflect on later on today. All right, to the top of the order, and there is A.J. Roush, who lines it into left field for a 1-out single.
Yeah, found the gap right there between the shortstop and the third baseman. Nothing you could really do about that one. That was a laser from Roush, excuse me.
Colin Kasperbauer strides in. Casper Bauer came into this series 0 for his last 9 at the plate, but has put together some good at-bats today with a couple of singles in game 1 of the doubleheader. Takes a strike there, and the count is 0-1. Casper Bauer coming over from Iowa Western. Fifth-year senior now as he vaults this one high up in the air to shallow center field. Nathan Archer with plenty of time to check his watch. He'll make the catch for out number 2. And now Mason Minzy will come to the plate.
Yeah, and to reflect on that initial out call for our first at bat in this inning, you could have first and second, could have a guy in score position with your heart of the order coming up here, but just not a call that the umpires made.
Minzy 1 for 1 today. Throw over to first to check on Roush. He's back. Mason Minzy, recruited by Ohio out of high school, decided to go to Texas Tech. But here he is, fifth-year senior, batting in the 3 spot this season for Craig Moore. Check over at first. Roush is back. Spoke to Mason earlier this week, and he told me that he fell in love with baseball and catching immediately when he started playing baseball at the age of 8. So didn't mess around and try different positions on the diamond. He knew right away catching was his forte.
Impressive for an 8-year-old.
Yeah.
Didn't have it all figured out right away and now be playing college baseball.
Didn't have to try multiple positions. He knew what he wanted at a young age. 1-0 pitch is smashed down the right field line, just foul. Ooh, that would have been, with 2 outs, you'd probably think Roush would have scored on that play if it was a fair ball.
Yeah, that was a laser for sure. He would have at least gotten to third. He was already quarter of the way to or 3/4 of the way to second by the time that ball had landed.
Minzy takes down and in ball 2. 2 balls and 1 strike. Bowling Green comes into this game 3-9. 1-1 in MAC play. Ohio 3-10. 1-1 in MAC play. And there goes Roush. It's fouled back to the net. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
And Roush probably would have gotten there too. Got a good jump, but that was a good pitch. Can't blame Minzy at all for swinging at that one, but at bat continues.
2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs. And the bottom of the 3rd inning from Bob Wren Stadium in the rubber match. Series finale. Breaking ball is grounded through into right field. A base hit for Mason Minzy. Roush trying to go first to third. A one-hopper to third is in time. What a throw from Jack Krause. And that ends the bottom of the 3rd inning. Ohio trying to be aggressive on the base paths. And it cost them in that sequence. We're done with 3 innings from Bob Wren Stadium. A 1-0 lead for Bowling Green. And the series finale. We'll be back in just a moment on Bobcat TV. Adam Follen steps in for Bowling Green to kickstart the top of the fourth inning. Back with Grant Kiefer. I'm Sam Hyman on Bobcat TV. Here's Trent Spoon, who fires a first pitch that is grounded fair, but it went off of Follin's foot. So foul ball, and the count is 0-1. If you're just joining us, this has been an entertaining series finale. The only run came off an RBI single from Nathan Rose. Trent Spoon has looked solid outside of that first inning. Pitched a 1-2-3 second and danced around a leadoff walk and 2 steals from Sam Seidel in the third. His first season with the Bobcats. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Follin.
And you're seeing it a little bit more, as we mentioned in the last frame that he was out there, that he likes those when he gets ahead in a count, he likes those pitches that are away from the zone and can make a guy chase. That's his go-to. You saw back-to-back sliders, and now he's got to tie back up again.
Popped up down the left field line. Long run for Gideon Antle towards the wall and runs out of room. So we'll do it again. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Boy, Gideon Antle can cover a lot of ground out there in left field.
Yeah, he was kind of positioned a little bit more to the right too, but you couldn't have made a play on that unless you do a backflip over the wall. But I don't think that was going to happen right there. Still a heck of an effort.
And then you're on SportsCenter.
Yes. That's the caveat there.
2-2. Fouled off to the left side. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The biggest area of, I wouldn't say concern, but just if you looked at this Ohio team coming into the weekend, would be the pitching and the defense. Their offense has been there. They are giving up a little over 9 runs per game through the first 11 contests before this weekend, as the 3-2 is a called strike 3. Follin thought it was ball 4. He tossed his bat aside, and now he's going to head to the dugout. It's the 4th strikeout for Spoon, and there's one away in the top of the 4th inning.
Spoon really settling in now after a questionable first inning where he allowed that run. If you like a pitcher's duel, you'll like today's matchup.
Yeah, and speaking of pitching, like we mentioned, it's been a struggle at times for the Ohio pitching staff this season. But if you're looking at some of the performances from this weekend in MAC play, as the 0-1 pitch paints the outer corner, strike 2 on Tyler Ross. I mean, you got a 7-inning performance from Luke Olson, 7 strikeouts, 0 walks. Here's a ground ball towards second. It's gobbled up by Adams, and quickly 2 up, 2 down in the top of the 4th. So you get Luke Olson 7 strong, season high, 7 innings, no walks, 7 strikeouts. And then in game 1, even though that was a loss, Olson looked really good, gave his team a chance to win. Next batter is number 7, Jack Krause. And then earlier today, Dylan Masters was terrific out of the bullpen for Ohio.
And we said at the beginning of this one, both these guys are guys that weren't really expected to go all that long. Peyton Wilson only goes about 3.1 innings on average, and then Trent Spoon only has 2 starts, 3 appearances, and only 12.1 innings pitched in those. But both these guys had their best stuff today.
Fought off and fouled back, 1 ball and 2 strikes. But yeah, Dylan Masters, he threw 3 scoreless innings in game 1 today for the Bobcats. The Murray State transfer. 1-2 is launched in the air to left field. Gideon Antle is there, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Trent Spoon, who, after allowing 1 run in the first, has tossed 3 scoreless. And we head to the bottom of the 4th inning after this. Ohio looking for offense in this series finale. We'll be back in a moment on Bobcat TV. Number 4 hitter Alec Patino stands in as we welcome you back to Bob Wren Stadium. Bobcats and the Falcons series finale as Patino whacks the first pitch on the ground and Ross bobbles the baseball. A miscue on the infield gives Ohio some interesting life here to start the bottom of the 4th. There's a runner on after the fielding error from Ross.
It looked like he maybe could have beaten him out too, but the ship had sailed the second he lost that ball. It's a good start for sure. You got your best hitter on base, and you got 5, 6, 7 still due up this inning. Ohio could start a rally here.
Will Sturrock at the plate, and he will take low. 1 ball and no strikes. Wilson delivers. 1-0 is pushed off of Ross's mitt, trickles into right field. Patino stops at second, and the Bobcats in business with runners at first and second, nobody out. That should be a hit. It is going to be a base hit for Will Sturrock. That was a tough play for Ross. And here we go. Gideon Antle steps to the plate in a 1-run game.
Yeah, and Ross had just timed that a little bit wrong, but watching Patino run the bases, he must have seen what happened to A.J. Roush last inning because he took the turn a little bit, but definitely hesitated right there. He's the runner in scoring position now.
Gideon Antle bunts this foul. Count is 0-1. Antle singled his first time up. Ohio is out hitting Bowling Green in this game 5-1. But the Falcons have what matters at the moment, and that's the lead. Antle bunts, or attempts to bunt, and then pulls back and tries to swing. That had the Falcons' corner infielders fooled a bit. A slash bunt scenario. 0-2.
You can see Antle start to wiggle his fingers around a little bit. It's either 1, getting cold, or 2, that ball got him on the fingers a little bit.
Chokes up a good bit here with 2 strikes. First and second, nobody out. Wilson deals, and Antle fouls it back. A lot of guys I've talked to on this team, I say a lot, probably 2 or 3 guys, Mason Minzy, A.J. Roush, Colin Kasperbauer, when I've asked them about Gideon Antle, they all say that they're incredibly impressed, calling him a fiery competitor. A.J. Roush used those words. Here he zaps this one into right field. That is down. Everybody stops station-to-station baseball, and the bases are loaded with Patino at third, Sturrock at second, and Gideon Antle has his second hit of the game.
Yeah, with Trevor Lucas coming up now, he's in quite the spot right here, 6 for 15 on the season after getting out his first time around. But a guy who hasn't really had that much of an opportunity recently to step up in a game where he gets a DH call, definitely something to keep an eye on.
And time is called as we have a mound visit featuring the entire infield. Kyle Halleck, third-year head coach for this Bowling Green team. He took this job at age 32. He was the youngest coach in Division I college baseball in 2021 and won 18 MAC games, the most conference wins since 2010. He likes a lot about his team in 2023. After that mound visit, still Peyton Wilson out there on the mound. Trevor Lucas with only 1 RBI this season awaits, and he swings and gets jammed, rolls it towards short. Johnson flips it to second for 1, turn to first in time. But a run does score. 6-4-3 double play. Bowling Green can avoid some serious damage here after that double play. We are tied at 1.
Yeah, first double play we've seen today with just the lack of base runners, but it wasn't exactly a bad double play. If you got bases loaded, of course you want to score as many runs as possible, but tie the game up in a game where pitchers have ruled, not exactly a bad thing.
We saw the look on Alec Patino's face when he scored, though. Put his hands on his head. Couldn't believe that that was a double play ball. Here is a ground ball through into center field. Ohio leads 2-1. Billy Adams, who's had himself a day. He has 5 hits in this doubleheader extravaganza. 4 in Game 1 and his first in Game 2.
Yeah, way to step up. Cold weather's not bothering him. You know, that pitch was right down heart of the plate. Didn't exactly need to put power on it. Read the infield well. Just put that one straight up center field and, just walked into the home plate, put Ohio ahead.
0-1 the count to Nick Dolan. Ohio now clinging to a 2-1 lead. Feels like it should be more, not just because they had the bases loaded with nobody out in this inning and then hit into a double play, but they're out hitting Bowling Green 7-1 in this game.
Not even to account for the error as well. They've gotten base runners for sure.
1 ball and 2 strikes. Bowling Green used its best reliever on Friday. We will see if Connor Penrod is used in this game. Penrod went 3 1/3 innings of scoreless ball, 3 strikeouts, 0 walks, got the win last night. 1-2 is fouled off. But when you get to that 3rd game of the series, Grant, pitching is definitely can become thin. Yesterday, though, these 2 teams only used 1 reliever, so should be well rested for today.
Yeah, and in a spot where you have a doubleheader, of course, if you're just in a regular 3-game series, this one tracks back, and Bowling Green will have it. You could have limited amounts of arms, but only using 1 reliever each yesterday bodes well for both these teams heading down the stretch here in this one.
All right, we will move to the top of the 5th. Ohio with 2 runs in the bottom of the 4th now lead it 2-1 on Bobcat TV. Top of the 5th inning we go. Trent Spoon fires a first pitch fastball outside. 1 ball and no strikes to Anthony Toma. Spoon's been working rapidly all game long. Toma, a 5'11 junior, fouls this one off. 2 balls and 1 strike. Well, it's been impressive to watch Trent Spoon respond after giving up 1 run in the first inning. 2-1 pitch is popped up into shallow right field. Sturrock long run, and he makes the play. 1 up and 1 down. So Trent Spoon has only allowed 1 hit in this game through 4 1/3 innings. He has struck out 4 batters. This is his first start at Bob Wren Stadium. Junior college transfer, and he's working. Is it just me? He's working very quickly out there on the mound.
Yeah, you could tell he's operating under his own clock, not just a pitch clock. But he's got a really quick delivery, as we mentioned, very, very early on, and hits another batter there. That's his 5th of the season. But he is a guy who likes to work fast, and he has his own flow. And if he gets thrown out of it, we've seen that a little bit this year, that when he is in a little bit of a pinch, he starts to fold under pressure. But in a game where he's only allowed 1 hit and just a few other walks, he hasn't really been under that kind of pressure to this point.
and throws a fastball up and in that gets Sam Seidel to chase. 0-1 the count. So the first 3 appearances for Trent Spoon against UNCW, Western Kentucky, and Southern Illinois. Here comes the 0-1. Breaking ball misses inside, 1-1. 2 2/3 innings against UNCW on opening weekend, allowed 3 runs, walked 5 batters, a much better performance on February 26th against Western Kentucky in a game that Ohio won. 2 balls and a strike. 5 innings, 5 hits, 1 run allowed, and 3 strikeouts for Spoon in his second outing. And then a tough one against Southern Illinois where he gave up 4 earned runs. Seidel swings and hammers this one high in the air, deep to right field. Goodbye. Sam Seidel gives Bowling Green a 3-2 advantage here in the 5th inning. That is his first career home run in a Bowling Green uniform.
And no silent treatment for him as he goes right in there into the huddle. I mean, what a strike that was. That was the definition of a no-doubt home run. The second that went off the bat, I said 3-2 in my head. And, now's the time for Spoon to really dial it back in as he allows another hit right there. And this might be all there is for him since they got guys warming up out there. But if he does get to finish this inning, it's important to just reel it back in. You still have the rest of the 5th inning to go. Don't let the 2 runs distract you. Yes, they're losing, but not something you really want to focus on too much. We'll see if the skipper takes him out right here.
Well, Tim Brown, pitching coach, making his way out to the mound, and he is going to make a pitching change. So Sam Seidel, with his first home run in a Falcon uniform, has bounced Trent Spoon from this game. So we will step aside. 3-2 lead for Bowling Green in the rubber match of a 3-game series. We'll resume the top of the 5th when we come back on Bobcat TV. New pitcher for Ohio as we resume action here in the top of the 5th inning. Zach Weber will take over, making his 5th appearance of the season and his 2nd out of the bullpen. Comes in with a 10.54 ERA. He's struggled this season, 16 earned runs given up in 13 2/3 innings as he rifles it over to first to check on Archer. Stolen base threat. Bobcats held a 2-1 lead for just a little bit until Sam Seidel hit a 2-run homer. That slider misses outside. Throw down to second. Archer slides in safely. Looked like the throw beat Archer, but the tag was late. And Nathan Archer puts himself in scoring position here in the top of the 5th.
Yeah, that's now 4 stolen bases for Bowling Green. And while there's a lot of speed on those base paths, you know, if you're Mason Minzy, you got to be a little bit more heads up, because 4 stolen bases, and we're only about halfway through this game. Bowling Green's just going to keep running on Ohio.
Kyle Gurney, the catcher at the plate. Craig Moore speaking with one of the umpires in the third base coaching box. Appears to be frustrated. Bobcats 2 runs on 7 hits, no errors. Falcons 3 runs on 3 hits, 1 error. Gurney takes outside for ball 2, 2-0. Bobcats sporting their green uniforms, their green tops today, with a stripe down each pant leg. 2-0 misses outside, 3-0. Yesterday they pulled out the fresh new uniforms, fresh threads, kind of a creamish white color to kind of look a throwback look is what it was, as a 3-0 pitch misses down for ball 4, to pay tribute to the 1970 Ohio baseball team that made the College World Series and was a team that had one of the best third basemen, if not the best third baseman to ever play in the big leagues. Mike Schmidt, a Hall of Famer, 12-time All-Star, 3-time National League MVP, and a 1980 World Series champion with the Philadelphia Phillies. It really gave us that old school look yesterday. Did you get a chance to see?
I did. Yes,
yeah.
Watched yesterday. Beautiful uniforms. It's not hard to get a baseball uniform right, but especially in the college ranks, there's just so many good ones. Both the uniforms today, it's a good matchup.
This gets away from the catcher, Minzy. The aggressive base running from Nathan Archer pays off as he scampers down to third. So Gurney moves after he walked. Gurney moves to second, and Archer at third. There's only 1 out here in the top of the 5th inning. Bowling Green looking to add to its 3-2 lead. Nathan Rose takes low for ball 2. 2 balls and 1 strike. Mike Schmidt's number 10, by the way, is stuck up there on the left field wall in big number 10. This is grounded to Nick Dolan at short. Throws to first, and a productive ground out there from Nathan Rose. So it's 4-2. Bowling Green on top here in the 5th.
Yeah, just a poor inning for Ohio in terms of allowing runs. You know, entering this one, they had 1 run allowed, 1 hit, no errors. Now 4 runs, 3 hits. That's just something that one swing of the bat can do, and they've already got someone else up in the bullpen out there.
Adam Follen steps in, hit by a pitch, and struck out in this game. He fights this one off. It's lofted right to Colin Kasperbauer at third, and that will retire the side. But not before Bowling Green, behind a 2-run homer from Sam Seidel and an RBI ground out from Nathan Rose, give the Falcons a 4-2 lead. To the bottom of the 5th after this on Bobcat TV. All right, top of the order for the Ohio Bobcats as we start the bottom of the 5th inning. Back with Grant Kiefer, I'm Sam Hyman. Glad you're with us here on Bobcat TV. A.J. Roush swings, and that's a cue shot rolling towards first. Tyler Ross picks it up for the easy out on one pitch. And now Colin Kasperbauer will come to the plate. Well, Grant, this has been a back-and-forth game. Ohio is out hitting Bowling Green, but Bowling Green's taken advantage of their opportunities, and their stolen bases have been a major difference in this game.
Yeah, I mean, they're just getting base runners any opportunity they can get and taking advantage from Sam Seidel. That home run he had, that was a shot right there. And they're just making the most out of their opportunities. Ohio's getting runners on, but leaving guys stranded. I'd be interested to see what the left on base numbers are like, but at the end of the day, Ohio needs to take advantage of Peyton Wilson, whose numbers aren't great this season. Coming out for a 5th inning, can you find him vulnerable? And with 2-3 still due this inning, now 3-4, as that's a nice hit right there from Kasperbauer to potentially start a rally. You got an opportunity here, and we said that last inning. They did take advantage of it, took the lead for the first time this one. It'll be interesting to see if they fight back.
Great piece of hitting from Colin Kasperbauer, now 1 for 3 today. And that brings up Mason Minzy, who does lead this team tied for the team's lead with 3 home runs. Alec Patino also with 3, as Minzy takes low for ball 1. Minzy is 2 for 2 in this game with a pair of singles.
Drop pitch right there. Kasperbauer frustrated on the base pass that he wasn't set correctly and probably would have gotten a badge up, maybe would have risked getting thrown out right there. But something Ohio needs to try and catch Bowling Green and is a stolen base category in this one.
That catches the outside corner for a strike, and it's 1-1. Ohio just 6 for 10 on the bases this season as a team, compared to Bowling Green 17 of 22 coming into this game. 2 balls and 1 strike.
It looks like Kyle Gurney having some trouble, especially this at bat, trying to control the ball behind the plate as it gets colder. Something to keep an eye on as it gets colder and as the game goes on.
Minzy takes right down the middle for strike 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Alec Patino waits on deck for Ohio. This is the heart of the Bobcats order. Minzy the 3 hitter, Patino the 4. This is rolled over towards first. Ross pulled off the bag, has to quickly flip it over to Wilson, and he's able to get there just in the nick of time. That does move Kasperbauer in scoring position, but there are 2 down. And here comes Alec Patino, who's got 5 RBIs in this series. A 6th would make it a 1-run game right here.
Yeah, Patino absolutely capable of putting a ball in the outfield, and that's all you really need to do to score Kasperbauer here and just chisel at that lead. There's still a lot of time left in this ball game, and with 3, 4, 5 due up at some point here over the next few at-bats, you got a shot.
Here's a ground ball that stays fair, and Ross, he picked it up before that may have crossed the first base bag. Craig Moore is upset. He clearly thinks that ball was foul when Ross fielded it, but that's not going to be the case. So it is a ground out, and that will end the bottom of the 5th. 4-2 lead for Bowling Green, going to the 6th after this on Bobcat TV. All right, we move on to the top half of the sixth inning, a 4-2 lead for Bowling Green. And a first pitch swing is fouled off. Tyler Ross 0 for 2 in this game. Zach Weber remains out there for Ohio. Quickly 0-2.
It's surprising to see Zach Weber still out there with the way that last top of the fifth ended. But Ohio's got a deep bullpen and a lot of guys fighting for spots and fighting for rules. This is still pretty early on in the season. So this is a big prove-it opportunity. And with the way that last frame went, got to see if Zach Weber's up to the task.
This is grounded to second. Billy Adams easily makes the play. And Tyler Ross 0 for 3 in this game. 1 up, 1 down to begin the top of the sixth inning. And I'll bring up Jack Krause. Here's a ground ball sent to the shortstop, and it goes underneath Nick Dolan's mitt into center field. And a one-out base runner for Bowling Green. That's going to go down as an error on Nick Dolan. Just slid underneath his mitt.
The E6 right there, and he's had some really good plays this game defensively, and this defense has really been behind their pitchers today, but it's the first error Ohio's given up. Only 2 so far this game combined between both these teams, but not something you want to see when you're trying to get out of an inning down on the scoreboard.
One ball and no strikes to Anthony Toma. That connects on the outside corner, strike 2.
Yeah, way to paint the corner there. That one was high and in. Starting to get a little bit better at his control as this one goes out. It's just unfortunate that the error had to occur. Otherwise, he could have gotten out of here 1-2-3.
There goes Krause, pitches in the turf. No throw down to second. So 2 balls and 1 strike. And once again, Bowling Green very aggressive on the base paths. Here's a ground ball pulled towards third. Casper Bauer vacuums it up, fires to first in time. Krause remains at second, and there are 2 down.
Yeah, that one came in hot, and props to Casper Bauer for keeping a hold on that one, especially just with how cold it is outside, you know, and your hands starting to tense up a little bit. And with the error that just occurred, if you're an Ohio fan, you kind of jump out of your seat a little bit seeing that one. But now giving Zach Weber a chance to get out of this inning here.
First pitch off speed, really nice delivery there as it freezes Ryan Johnston. 0-1. And a wave and a miss for strike 2. Zach Weber with an opportunity to get out of this inning not harmed. Two down. Here's the 0-2, and it's lined right at Billy Adams, who snatches it out of thin air, and that retires the side. So Ohio does commit an error, but it doesn't cost them. We go to the bottom of the sixth. 4-2 lead in the rubber match. Bowling Green in front. Back in a moment on Bobcat TV. New pitcher for Bowling Green, Luke Kraus, the freshman, will take over and make his 4th appearance of the season. 6'2", 195 pounds. And this is lined into left field, a base hit for Will Sturrock. Ohio has the leadoff man aboard here in the bottom of the 6th inning.
One pitch, one hit for against the freshman, that is, as Luke Kraus coming into this one with only 7.1 innings pitched and 6 strikeouts with 4 walks. So not a guy who's really having the best season so far, but it's still early. First Max Series, good way to settle in, but not exactly the best way you want to start. One pitch, one hit.
Gideon Antle fouls this one off for strike 1. Nothing in 1 the count to Gideon Antle. He's 2 for 2 in this game and swings through that one, strike 2. Ohio trying to win this series. They've got to come back in this game to do so. Dropped the first game 5-4. Took game 2 earlier today 11-3. 0-2 is yanked foul up the third base line. Still 0-2 on Antle, the junior college transfer. A check over at first. Sturrock is back. Sturrock's 2 for 3 in this game, a pair of singles.
Interesting. They are checking on Sturrock because he only has 1 stolen base this season, but as you see right there, getting the second, he's got some speed. And so does Antle.
Yeah, Antle beats the tag attempt. In fact, the pitcher, Kraus, missed him. And Gideon Antle is aboard. That should be an infield single. First and second, nobody out for Ohio.
If there's anyone you want coming up to the plate right now, Billy Adams. Or, excuse me, no.
We're going
to have a pinch hit here real quick. I was ahead on the order.
Alex Finney will pinch hit for Ohio in the 7th spot. Finney started the first game today for the Bobcats behind home plate. Had a 2-run double and takes a strike, 0-1.
Finney, the usual DH, but getting Lucas some reps in for the doubleheader, and you want to keep your guys warm and ready, and to have a guy who can hit like this for the back half of this game should bode well for Ohio as he shows bunt here.
And takes for ball 1, 1 ball and 1 strike.
It'll just be very important here to not put this one on the ground and potentially risk that double play, as you do have Billy Adams on the plate having himself quite the day, as combined 5 for 6 across both games. But you got to get there first. You got runners at first and second, but no outs. Can't get into a situation where you got 2 outs.
1-1 pitch is roped into left field, a base hit. Sturrock will come to a screeching halt at third, and the bases are loaded for the Bobcats here in the bottom of the 6th. Alex Finney, wouldn't say he's coming off the bench cold because he played a game today,
Right.
but does come in as a pinch hitter and delivers with a base hit, 3 singles to start the bottom of the 6th inning. And Billy Adams, who is the hottest hitter in this game and on this doubleheader day, stands in. 5 hits today, trying to make it 6. Luke Kraus fires, and this is grounded through the right side. A base hit. That's the 6th hit of this Saturday afternoon for Billy Adams. And it gives Ohio 3 runs on the scoreboard. The bases remain loaded after the RBI single from Billy Adams.
Now Nick Dolan coming up in a big spot here. It's important to keep the bases loaded, no outs. And down just 1 run, you'd have to think Ohio can come away with something here.
Nick Dolan would like nothing more than to make up for his miscue on the infield last half inning, as Time is called. Ohio, I mean, to be down in this game with the way Ohio's hit the baseball it's got to be frustrating. I mean, you're out hitting Bowling Green 12-3 and you're losing by 1, but that might change depending on what happens here. We've got a pitching change first. Ohio will head back to the dugout, and we will tell you about the new Bowling Green pitcher when we come back. You're watching Maction all day long here on Bobcat TV. Bobcats with the bases loaded here in the bottom of the 6th inning, down a run. Back with Grant Kiefer, I'm Sam Hyman. New pitcher is Owen Recker, the 6'4", 230-pound right-hander from Kalita, Ohio. First pitch to Nick Dolan, and that burns inside, and Dolan does go around, so that's strike 1. Luke Krause only lasted 4 batters. He did not record an out when he started the 6th inning. Gideon Antle at third, Alex Finney at second, Billy Adams at first, and Dolan watches that fastball soar outside for ball 1. 1 ball and 1 strike. Critical moment in this game. Bobcats trying to come back and win this series after dropping the opener last night. The 1-1. And Dolan loops it in the air to right field. That is down. Antle will score, and we're tied at 4 here in the bottom of the 6th. Clutch hitting from Nick Dolan, who makes up for his error back in the top of the frame.
Yeah, it's got to feel good to get one back right there after potentially almost giving up a run. This Ohio team's pumped right now. They've got the momentum, and it seems that Ohio may have the advantage within the bullpen as Bowling Green's given up 2 runs already out of their bullpen, and they still have the bases loaded, and they're still a 0 underneath the out column.
How about this station-to-station baseball? 5 singles to start this inning.
Yeah, you talk about just a small ball game.
And this is zapped all the way back towards the net. A run scores, and Alex Finney, and Ohio takes a 5-4 lead on the wild pitch from Owen Recker.
If you're Bowling Green right now, I feel like it's not early enough to take Recker out, obviously. But if you're the pitching coach, I feel like you should maybe go out there and just try and dial your guys in. This is an inning that looks like it has no signs of ending at this point. You've allowed 3 runs already this frame, no outs, 2 runners in scoring position. With the top of the lineup coming up, I mean, this spells disaster for Bowling Green almost, it seems.
Breaking ball hits right down the middle for a called strike, and the count is 1-1. A.J. Roush at the plate. He's 1 for 3 in this game. Infielders are in. And Roush takes low. 2 balls and 1 strike. Roush is tied for team lead in hits coming into this game. 2-1, a fastball buzzes high. 3 balls and 1 strike. First base is open. There are no outs. So it wouldn't be surprising to see Recker pitch around Roush, although this is the top of the order and a lot of talent coming up. High chopper to short. Johnston throws to the plate in time. Gurney applies the tag and gets Billy Adams.
That was a heck of a throw right there, and one that definitely needed to be made. You save a run right there. You get now. Only runners in the quarters now. Yes, you still got 2, 3, and 4 due up at some point here soon, but if you're Bowling Green, that has to feel good to get that monkey off your back and just get a runner out at home.
So first and third with 1 out. And the batter is Colin Kasperbauer, who is 1 for 3 in this game. And that is inside for ball 1. Ohio has scored 3 runs in this inning. Owen Recker comes set and delivers. Breaking ball is tapped to the left of the mound. Going to be a tough play for Johnson. Throws to second for the out, but a run scores. Dolan crosses home, and Ohio leads 6-4.
You kind of had to pick your poison there. You throw for home, potentially risk not getting them out, and then you got 2 runners on still. But nonetheless, you still have a big part of Ohio's order coming up. Although 2 outs now, this is a part where you can maybe stop the bleeding just a touch if you're Bowling Green.
Mason Minzy steps in for Ohio, and that breaking ball misses down and in for ball 1.
Record so far, a lot of two-seam fastballs inside seems to be his go-to pitch. It's been very rare that he's gotten ahead of the count so far in this one.
On 1-0, fastball misses and gets away from Gurney. There goes the runner, Kasperbauer, and he will get into second easily. Remember, Craig Moore is something that we talked about earlier. Said that Colin Kasperbauer might not be the fastest player on this Ohio team, but he's got one of the best instincts on the team.
Yeah, definitely good awareness out there on the base paths, for sure. Couldn't agree more with him.
2-0 is down and in for a ball, 3-0.
Record just really struggling to work back into counts, and it seems to be the theme so far out of Bowling Green's bullpen. As you can see on the Ohio side, a lot of these guys are better at facing adversity in that sense.
That misses inside, ball 4. 4-pitch walk. Well, it is clear that outside of Connor Penrod, who was dazzling last night with 3 1/3 scoreless out of the pen for Bowling Green, Falcons are stretched a little thin right now with their bullpen, searching for answers. As Alec Patino comes to the plate, he is the 9th batter to bat in this inning.
Nearly being able to make your trip around the order here, and Patino, if you got a guy with this much power, with runners on, if I were Owen Recker, I would do my best to pitch around them here despite the potentially loading the bases.
That bounces in the turf. 1 ball and no strikes to Patino. First and second, 2 outs. Bottom of the 6th inning. Ohio leads by 2. And Patino demolishes this one. Well foul. That went to the right of the softball field.
You're taking a walk on the Hocking River right now.
Yeah.
Watch out.
There's a bike path over there. I go for runs all the time on that bike path. I might have to check and see if that ball's over there.
little souvenir. They go home.
Here comes the 1-1. Inside ball 2. 2 balls and 1 strike to Alec Patino, who has been fantastic in this series. 5 RBIs, 2 homers. Looking for his first hit in this game. 2-1 is fouled off.
These are some big swings from Patino. He seems to have the same philosophy that he had last night every time he went up to the plate. Swing for the fences. And I don't think Ohio would rather have anyone else up at the plate right now with that in mind.
2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 down in the home half of the 6th inning. 6-4 lead for Ohio, trying to win this series. Still plenty of time in this game. 2-2, Patino launches it in the air to right field, and Kraus tracks it down. Patino had the fans on the edge of their seat. Ohio puts up 4 runs in the bottom of the 6th inning. It's a 6-4 lead for the Bobcats as we head to the 7th in the series finale. You're watching all the action live on Bobcat TV. All right, we welcome you back to Bob Wren Stadium. New pitcher on the mound for Ohio is the lefty Jacob Tate. He'll make his 5th appearance out of the bullpen, an 8.22 ERA in 2023. 6'6", redshirt junior. Paints a fastball right down Court Street for strike 1.
He's getting a lot of extension, big strides for someone that tall as a pitcher. Kind of Sandy Alcantara-esque almost.
Fires a fastball right by Sam Seidel. Strike 2. Seidel launched a 2-run homer his last time up back in the 5th inning. His first home run in a Falcon uniform. 0-2 is just outside for ball 1. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
It seemed he wanted him to chase there at the way the catcher was positioned, but you're up 0-2 in the count like that. You can afford it.
Reached and popped up into shallow left center field. Nick Dolan makes the play, and Seidel is retired. That's out number 1 in the top of the 7th inning.
If you're Ohio, definitely wanting to get Seidel and Archer away from the bases as much as possible, and got one of the 2 down, but you had to deal with the other right here with Nathan Archer coming up. And as they've given Ohio trouble on the base paths today.
Nathan Archer takes upstairs. 1 ball and no strikes. Archer has a stolen base. He scored twice, a walk, and a single. and taps this one to first. Patino a race to the bag, and Alec gets there before Archer. Little foot race between the two there. 2 down.
Yeah, I think Patino gave it everything he had right there in order to beat him out. 80 grade speed on the base pass.
Kyle Halleck, the head coach of Bowling Green, told us that Nathan Archer runs the 60-yard dash at 6.4 seconds. He is not slow at all,
No,
so you have to be on the edge of your seat. You got to be on your toes. Patino, as soon as he fielded that baseball, mad dash to the first base bag, like it was a race to get to the front of the buffet line, right?
Yeah.
In some cases.
Right. He's thinking about where on Court Street he was going to go tonight.
Kyle Gurney stands in. He's 0 for 2 with a walk. And a fastball locks up on the outside corner. 2 balls and 1 strike. 6-4 lead for Ohio, looking to win this series after dropping game 1 yesterday. 2-1 pitch misses low. 3 balls and 1 strike. Trent Spoon started this game for Ohio. He went 4 1/3 innings. Gave up 3 hits, 4 earned runs, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts. 3-1 is a called strike fastball, 3-2. And at times, Spoon was really in a groove. There were just a couple of moments where he struggled, but his relievers have come on and done a solid job. 3 balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs. And this ball's crushed. In the air to left field, still going. It bounces off the base of the wall. Gurney charges into second base with a throw just late. Kyle Gurney has a 2-out double for Bowling Green in the top of the 7th.
You talk about clutch. With that inning almost coming to a close and time winding down for Bowling Green to cut down this all of a sudden 2-run deficit after that last frame for Ohio. Full count, 2 outs. To be able to do that against a guy who looks like he's really in his groove right now with Jacob Tate, that's big right there.
No doubt about it. And work to be done for the Bobcats. Nathan Rose stands in, and he takes on the top shelf for strike 1.
Nathan Rose, not a guy you want to see at the plate if you're Ohio in this situation. Really hitting the ball well this year. Doesn't have a home run to his name yet to this point.
1 ball and 1 strike to Nathan Rose, the third baseman. 2 RBIs in this game for the cleanup hitter. 1-1. Hits the inside corner, strike 2. So once again, Jacob Tate with an opportunity, the 6'6" southpaw from Louisville, Tennessee. His 5th outing of the season, an important one. 1-2 is bounced foul, first base side.
Nathan Rose starting to huddle the plate a little bit more, going a little bit inside of the batter's box, but not choking up. We'll see how this approach pays off here on this next pitch.
1-2 the count, 2 outs, top of the 7th. Here's the pitch. Again, fouled off. Great AB here from Nathan Rose, senior from Shaker Heights, Ohio. One, two, backdoor curve, doesn't bite. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
You had to give him something there. Chase the way he's been throwing pitches over the plate and just fouling them off. Had to just try and get some sort of chase there to get out of this. He's really working up the pitch count here on Jacob Tate.
2-2 offering. Fouled off again to the right side. Nathan Rose, an experienced player. He actually had an unbelievable freshman season. First freshman in Bowling Green history to be on the first team All-MAC selection list in 2021. 2-2, fouled off again. So he is had a heck of a career with Bowling Green last season. Made 48 starts and hit .322 with an on-base percentage of .382. Big spot here. 2 balls, 2 strikes with a runner at second. And the pitch. Popped up again and out of play to the right side.
The fight just won't go away. It's quite the long at bat, and even if he is only able to draw a walk out of this, that bodes well for the rest of this Bowling Green orders. Jacob Tate starting to run low on gas here, I'm sure, coming out of the bullpen.
2-2, fly ball into shallow right field. Long run for Sturek, and he slips and the ball drops foul. So we'll do it again, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, another foul, but not the way you really expected that one. That one could have had a play made on it. Excellent job to try and track that one down, but just excellent plate discipline and really knows just how to work up a count. Excellent quality in a baseball player.
2-2. Grounded right back to Tate. He spears it and flips it to first to retire the side. The Bobcats get out of the mini jam, and Ohio takes a 6-4 lead into the bottom of the 7th. Time to stretch in our series finale from Athens, Ohio. Back in a moment on Bobcat TV. First pitch is low for ball 1 as we welcome you back to Bob Wren Stadium here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Owen Recker still out there on the mound for Bowling Green. Here comes the 1-0, and this is hammered right back up the middle. Will Sturek with an impressive base knock to kickstart things here in the bottom of the 7th.
Yeah, back-to-back innings, getting a runner on right away for the Bobcats as they just want to put this one away as much as they can. Just not look back. It's basically the same thing they did this first game today.
Ohio with 14 hits in this game. An impressive showing by the offense as Gideon Antle bunts this one foul. 0-1.
This bottom half of the order here really coming up in a big spot today, something you don't really expect of any lineup in a baseball game, but it's really been a team game all around so far for Ohio. That's ultimately why they may end up winning this one.
Antle bunts it right back to the pitcher, and the sacrifice works. So Gideon Antle has had a great game. 3 hits and a sac bunt, and Will Sturek moves to second. So bring up Alex Finney. Well, looking at previous games this season, Ohio with a 14 hits in this game. That is third most in a game this season. Had 20 hits against Navy when they put up 27 runs, and then scored 15 runs had 15 hits in a loss. But they are out hitting Bowling Green 14-4 in this game. It's only a 2-run contest, though. Ohio looking to add to its lead. Two balls and no strikes. The pitch. And Finney bounces it foul. Owen Recker still out there on the mound. Bowling Green started Peyton Wilson. He went 5 innings, 8 hits allowed, 2 earned runs, no walks, no strikeouts. And Luke Krause only faced 4 batters, didn't record an out as the 2-1s fouled off to the right side. Bobcats trying to win their first series of the season. 2-2. Swung on and missed, strike 3. 2 down in the bottom of the 7th inning for Billy Adams.
Not a lot of swings and misses so far this game. Definitely something you want to see if you're a Bowling Green fan at this point in the game, especially with those bullpen numbers dwindling with the doubleheader and just not as much firepower out of the bullpen as you would expect. Of course, you have Connor Penrod, but unavailable today because he was used yesterday. But Owen Recker really starting to settle in here and could get out of here with a good bottom of the 7th.
1 ball and no strikes to Billy Adams. 2 for 3 today with 2 RBIs. He grounds that one to short. Johnston fires to first to retire the side. So that is going to do it for the bottom of the 7th inning. 6-4 lead for Ohio in this series finale. We move to the top of the 8th inning after this. You're watching all the action live on Bobcat TV. All right, we start the top half of the 8th inning from Bob Wren Stadium. Ohio leads 6-4 over Bowling Green. Back with Grant Kiefer, Sam Hyman with you on Bobcat TV. Jacob Tate delivers a first pitch fastball in there for strike 1. Bobcats are out hitting the Falcons 14-4.
Bowling Green right now only batting 154 as a team and 4 strikeouts as a team so far as well. Just not the showing that you would want to see in a game where we really didn't expect pitchers to reign supreme. Ohio is kind of dominating on the pitching side. It's just Bowling Green got that one home run, and of course, one swing of the bat can really change an entire game.
Trent Spoon started the game for Ohio, then Zach Weber came on and tossed an inning and 2/3 of scoreless baseball as Adam Fallon waves through and misses for strike 3. One away in the top of the 8th inning. Next batter is Tyler Ross. Well, we talked about it earlier, but the MAC, it's going to be a very competitive league this year. Ohio picked 6th in the preseason poll. Bowling Green picked 9th. Ball State projected 1st in the MAC preseason poll. Central Michigan 2nd, Kent State 3rd. And Ohio will be tested next weekend when they have to host the 3-time defending MAC tournament champions in Central Michigan, who has had quite the start to the season. They played at Baylor, at UTRGV in Texas, at St. Mary's, at San Jose State, and at Sacramento State. They played in Texas and California in their first 14 games of the season. Well traveled. That'll be next weekend. Ohio hosts Central Michigan here from Bob Wren Stadium. 3-0. And that connects on the outside corner, strike 1.
It'll be interesting to see how Central Michigan is able to readapt to the weather after getting to spend all that time in the tropics of California and Texas. That UT Rio Grande Valley series, I mean, they were just hitting the ball so well. And against Baylor, they beat them 20-5. And just playing Sacramento State this weekend as well. It'll be their first MAC series next weekend, but it should be a test for both teams. I'm looking forward to it.
Payoff pitch upstairs. Ball 4. So a 1-out walk. And that will bring up Jack Krause.
Ohio's got 2 pitchers warming down the bullpen, and good to see Jacob Tate getting some well-deserved playing time for the way that last inning went for him. But Ohio, they got a lot of available arms, and some of these stats aren't quite as well as you would think, or you would want them to be, rather, in this case. But they're prepared and they're ready to potentially have to go to distance here as we're getting into crunch time now on the top of the 8th.
0-1 pitch is fouled off to the left side. And quickly 0-2. Jack Krause is hitless in this game.
Entire bottom half of Bowling Green's lot of hitless at this point. Only your top 4 have the 4 hits.
And there's strike 3. Jacob Tate with 2 strikeouts in the inning. Bowling Green down to its final 4 outs. Anthony Toma, the designated hitter, steps in, and time is called. This may be a matchup change here for Ohio. It's a pretty brisk walk there from Tim Brown, the pitching coach. Looks like it's going to be it for Jacob Tate, the lefty. And we will step aside. 6-4 lead for the Bobcats here in the top of the 8th inning. Jacob Tate. And the bullpen continues to shine. An inning and 2/3 of scoreless baseball. Again, Tate's line not finished. He is responsible for Tyler Ross on the bases. But we will step aside. Pitching change, and we'll tell you all about the new Bobcat pitcher when we come back on Bobcat TV. New pitcher for Ohio is Hudson Bonkel, the 6'3" sophomore from Corona, California, out of Centennial High School. Delivers first pitch fastball outside, ball one. Bonkel making his 4th appearance out of the bullpen this season of 4 2/3 innings, 4 earned runs, 4 walks, 7 strikeouts so far for the righty. And quickly behind in the count, 2 balls and no strikes. 2 down here in the top of the 8th inning. Ohio clinging to a 6-4 advantage. And that misses inside for a ball, 3-0.
A tough call there, but he's really been hugging the insides of the batter's box so far, and it's definitely something you want to keep an eye on as Bowling Green looking to maybe spark a rally here.
Fastball paints right down the middle for a called strike, 3-1. Bobcats 6 runs on 14 hits, 3rd most hits in a game this season, and 1 error. 3-1 is low, ball 4. And now after 2 walks in the inning, things are getting tight here with Ryan Johnston coming to the plate. The tying run is at first. Bowling Green has managed to stay in this game with only 4 hits. They're being out-hit 14-4, but they're only down 2 runs.
Yeah, getting the long ball going, and 5 walks will obviously help as well. And top half of the order's going, and you're batter number 9 in the order right now. If you're Bonkel, you got to be praying you can end the inning right here, right now, and avoid that treacherous top half.
Here's a ground ball, foul, third base side. 3rd-year head coach Kyle Halleck took this job at the age of 32 and has done a solid job trying to get his team back in the win column here in this game. Coach Halleck very familiar with the MAC. He was an All-American pitcher at Kent State from 2008 to 2011, won 4 straight league titles. 2-1 pitch, high chopper, foul, third base side. Two balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs and the top of the 8th inning. Runners at first and second for Bowling Green, threatening. 2-2, locks him up. Called strike 3. Some energy from Hudson Bonkel out on the mound as he gets out of the jam. And the Bobcats protect their 6-4 advantage. Time to go to the bottom of the 8th inning as Ohio looks for some insurance, leading by 2 runs in the series finale, live on Bobcat TV. Bottom of the 8th inning here from Bob Brent Stadium, Athens, Ohio. A crispy, cool evening here on this Saturday. Temperatures have dipped below 40 degrees. Nick Dolan, he will take a strike on the outside corner, 0-1. New pitcher for Bowling Green, DJ Newman, who got an at-bat in the first game of the doubleheader today. Delivers. Fastball just brushes off the plate outside. 1-1 strike. DJ Newman is a freshman. He's 6 feet tall, 180 pounds, from Archbold, Ohio. And ahead in the count, 1-2 on Nick Dolan.
Dolan 1 for 3 today. The entire Bobcats lineup that's in right now has reached at some point today. Bettina, the only one without a hit, did reach on an error. It's been quite the display from this team so far.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Fouled off. DJ Newman makes his 4th appearance out of the bullpen this season. He's only thrown a total of, here's a pop-up. He's only thrown a total of 2 2/3 innings as the shortstop, Ryan Johnston, makes the play. And there's 1 out here in the bottom of the 8th inning. That'll turn the lineup over for A.J. Roush. Well, Ohio, they've got to be thinking, maybe get 1 or 2 more just to feel comfortable.
Right.
But if they are able to win this game, that would be a massive turn of the tide, given what happened yesterday. Just a heartbreaking way to lose after it was such a competitive game. The game lasted less than 2 hours, and 5-4 the final score, and surrendered a home run in the 9th inning, which proved to be the difference in the game. And then Ohio's bats came to life earlier today as A.J. Roush bangs this one into right field, his 2nd hit of the game. And Ohio with a runner at first and 1 out.
And to your point, both these teams have to be desperate at this point. Bowling Green's lost 6 of their last 7, looking to maybe be 7 of their last 8 if they drop this one here in Ohio. Before today, they hadn't won a game since February. So both these teams really, really need this to start off on the right foot in MAC play, and both these teams have treacherous schedules ahead as Bowling Green's got Akron coming up next week, and in a midweek series against Oakland, non-con next week. And then, as we had mentioned, Central Michigan, 3-peat MAC tournament winners coming to town next weekend, one that both these teams need desperately.
Here's the 0-1. Down and away, 1-1. So 15 hits for Ohio in this game. No extra base hits. All singles.
Yeah.
15 singles.
Ball.
I mean, I just noticed that looking down at my score sheet. That is impressive. There goes Roush. It's low in the turf. Throw down to second from Gurney is late. And A.J. Roush has a stolen base to put him in scoring position.
And we had mentioned at the top of the broadcast that Ohio really won last game by that small ball, and they scored 11 runs, and only 1 of them was on an extra base hit. The rest were on wild pitches, singles, errors, you name it. They found a way to score on it. But then on the flip side, Bowling Green, 4 hits as a team, 2 of those are extra base hits.
Ground ball right back to the pitcher. Newman bobbles it, has to quickly recover and shovel it over to first. 2 down. Mason Minzy will trot to the plate. He is 2 for 3 in this game with a walk. Breaking ball settles right down the middle, a called strike. 0-1.
Minzy having a fine day at the plate, just like almost all the Bobcats are at 2 for 3. And, he's got one chance here to maybe give the Bobcats an insurance one, which might be desperately needed the way Bowling Green ended the bottom half of last inning. The top, excuse me.
0-2 the count with 2 down in the bottom of the 8th inning. Bowling Green will have the top of the order due up in the top of the 9th as the 0-2 misses outside. 1-2. Sam Seidel, Nathan Archer, and Kyle Gurney will be up in the 9th.
Yeah, it's good news if you're a Bowling Green fan to have your 1-2-3 coming up the start of the 9th. And if anyone's going to get a rally, it'll be those guys. They're the only ones that have hits today, practically.
No play for the second baseman, Seidel. It was hit off the top of Newman's mitt. An infield single for Mason Minzy. Credit Minzy for running the entire way. And the Bobcats have runners at the corners. That could be pivotal if Ohio scores another run. Get some insurance, feel a little bit better about themselves going into the 9th. We'll see.
We've got the hero of last night's game on Ohio's side, who was somehow hitless in this game. The only Bobcat to be hitless and all that power. Alec Patino. Keep an eye out for him on this at-bat.
Breaking ball misses outside for ball 1. Alec Patino had 2 home runs yesterday. DJ Newman delivers, and Patino swings through it for strike 1. Ohio looking for its first series win this season. Got swept last week by Southern Illinois, and then 2 weeks ago by Western Kentucky as the 1-1 misses outside, 2-1.
Tough non-conference slate for sure, as we had mentioned, but now it's MAC time. Don't really have to focus too much more on anything else other than that, especially in their next few matchups. They have a random midweek series against Morehead State, and Bowling Green will get the out here to end the inning, but one more frame to be able to get the series win here, Sam.
Yes, indeed. So we will step aside. The top of the order due up for Bowling Green. Ohio is 3 outs away from taking 2 out of 3 in their MAC opening series here from Bob Wren Stadium. Stick with us on Bobcat TV. Top of the 9th inning. Ohio 3 outs away from claiming this series, and Hudson Bonkel fires a first pitch fastball high for ball 1. Bonkel was a starter last season for Ohio in some late relief. Right now, a chance to slam the door. Coach Moore told us at the beginning of the season that Bonkel will begin out of the bullpen this year. They'll monitor that, see how it goes. He has incredible life to his fastball, which sits around 91 to 93 miles an hour, and a great breaking ball as well. The bullpen today for the Bobcats has been fantastic, right on cue as Sam Seidel swings and misses for strike 3. Ohio 2 outs away from victory. We talked about Dylan Masters in the first game. He tossed scoreless inning after scoreless inning in his appearance out of the bullpen. And Jacob Tate as well in this game with an inning and 2/3 scoreless baseball. He battled a little bit of an oblique injury last season. Good to see him back out there looking sharp. As Nathan Archer stands in, the 1-1 pitch is grounded foul. 1-2.
Yeah, you talk about that bullpen. None of them have an earned run to their name at this point. As Trent Spoon assumed all 4 earned runs, but a stellar game out of this bullpen. A bullpen that has some shaky numbers this year on paper, but one that's pretty much won Ohio the game today down the stretch here.
Fly ball into shallow center field. The shortstop, Nick Dolan, retreats, and he makes the catch to retire Archer. And Ohio is 1 out away from winning this series. They dropped game 1, 5-4. They won game 2 earlier today, 11-3. And they're up 6-4 here in the top of the 9th inning. And to your point, the bullpen, the story of this day. Dylan Masters, 3 shutout innings in the first game today. And then Zach Weber, Jacob Tate, Hudson Bonkel potentially can all lock it down. Tate and Weber did their job. Bonkel is 1 strike away from slamming the door shut on this series. The 1-2 outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
It seems to just let that one get a little bit away from him. Hit his chest, my bad, to his catcher. Catcher wasn't in position like that, but here we go.
Fouled off. Still 2 balls and 2 strikes. Kyle Gurney is 1 for 3 today with a double and a walk. Ohio today has notched 16 hits in game 2, all singles. 2-2 waved at and missed for strike 3. And that is your ball game. The Bobcats win their first series of the season, taking 2 out of 3 against the Falcons of Bowling Green. Ohio starts MAC play 2-1 after an 11-3 win and a 6-4 win in the last 2 games of this series. Grant, your final thoughts.
This was a get-me-right game and a get-me-right day, sort of. Coming into this one at 2-10 and needing to at least come away with the day with 1 win. Got 2. That's a great way to start MAC play. Got some games coming up. You got the important series against Central Michigan next weekend. You got Morehead State in a midweek game coming up here soon as well. And we're really getting into the thick of things. Baseball's back, and Ohio's going to start off on the right foot in MAC play.
All right, that does it for us. For Grant Kiefer, Sam Hyman, Jordan Bose, great crew, we say so long from Bob Wren Stadium. Bobcats winners in their first series of MAC play in 2023. Have a great rest of your weekend, and thanks for watching.